Okay, today I'm going to talk a little bit about OpenStreetMaps and why I don't use it. If you watch my channel, I love open source software. I think everything should be released under a GPL license. Most of the time, open source software is superior to proprietary software because it's collaborative and you can get everyone joining in on it. Even small projects may not have a lot of people. It's beneficial to have other people helping. The thing is, you would think, oh, OpenStreetMaps, people are submitting information, it's going to have everything. Thing is, it cannot keep up with Google Maps because Google Maps spies on everybody. That's not a good thing, but it is something that happens and it gives you so much more information. Traffic, accidents, people can report stuff. Even if you're not reporting stuff, most people, unless you disable it, you have Google stuff on your phone. It's tracking your movements. It knows what's going on, where you are all the time, and it can use that information to give everyone else information, right? And yeah, so it's going to have more information than OpenStreetMaps. But OpenStreetMaps is useless, okay? Every time I've tried to use it, and I try every couple of years because, as I said in a previous video, Google Maps is one of the very few proprietary applications on my phone that I use. Because when I'm driving, I can't be fiddling with my phone trying to figure out where I'm going. And I understand paper maps, right? I went to high school in the 90s. I was in junior ROTC. Every year we had a session, a class on reading paper maps, right? I also, in the late 90s, early 2000s, did real estate photography, which means I constantly had to be driving to neighborhoods that I'd never been to before, to houses I'd never been to before, and I had a big paper map, and I would look at this street and, figure out, oh, it's in box C10, go here, and then okay, and then it's just like that. And it worked. I could do it, but I had to make sure I knew where I was going. And that was just in my local town, and it was still difficult, especially if you're driving in a town you're not familiar with. And in my town, there's a lot of canals that separate streets. So even if you can get to a street, if you don't know where on that street the house is, you might end up 20 minutes away from where you're going to be because, oh, I can see where I need to be on the other side of the canal, but you got to go back out and all the way around and to get there. But let's just look at a random address. Right here, I am at the appraiser's website for my local county, right? So I can look up all the properties in my county. I'm just going to type in a street that I know is not too far from my house. I'm going to say 22nd Avenue Northeast, right? I'm going to select one of these properties at random. I'm going to take the address. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it into Google Maps. And right away, just hitting enter, it brings me right there. Shows me right where the house is, right? Great. Now I can click directions and get where I'm going, right, on my phone or whatever. Let's go to OpenStreetMaps and try this. I'm going to type in, I'm going to just paste that address, right? I'm going to wait. Takes a little bit longer, that's fine. It lists a bunch of addresses. Nebraska? No, I'm in Florida. Let's go ahead and give it a little more information. It doesn't seem to recognize where I am, even though it should be able to tell by my IP address where I am within reason. But I'll say Naples, Florida, okay? Still does not give me a location. Can you imagine driving along and I'm trying to figure out where I am? Now I'm looking at my phone messing around. No, I can't mess with that while I'm driving, especially. Let's try removing the house number and just putting in the street, right? Street with it. Oh, it found something, right? It's right here. It's 22nd Avenue North. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for 22nd Avenue Northeast. 22nd Avenue North and 22nd Avenue Northeast are 35 to 40 minutes away from each other, right? So it brought up the wrong address. Let me go ahead and click on this so I can see the address. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go back over to Google Maps. I'll say directions. I'll paste it in here. Again, it's pasting 22nd Avenue North. So it should bring me to the center of that street, right? So I do that. How far away is one of those addresses to the other? It's anywhere from 31, 33, 34, depending on traffic. So yeah, it would have brought me to the completely wrong spot. And if I'm driving, I wouldn't have noticed, oh, I typed in Northeast and it goes, oh, here's 22nd Avenue North. If you have luck with OpenStreetMaps, that's great. Good for you. Keep on using it. I think it would be great if everybody was able to use that. But I have never, and I said every couple of years I try again. I try to see if it's improved, right? And I've even entered some addresses and public information, right? You could go to these appraisers' offices, and this is public information, so all the addresses should be in their databases. Now, I don't know a lot about how OpenStreetMaps works as far as submitting stuff. I've submitted stuff occasionally, but I know that I've read that they don't like when people just dump a bunch of information because, oh, it might be copyrighted information, which I think is kind of I'm not a lawyer, right? But factual information cannot be copyrighted to the best of my knowledge. Now, if I was to pull a bunch of addresses from Google Maps, now their addresses and the GPS location, it's like, I guess maybe they can copyright that. But okay, so pull a bunch of that information and slightly adjust the GPS locations randomly by a couple of feet, and it's no longer going to be what they have. And then go ahead, prove that I pulled it from there. I know that Google Maps and some other places supposedly put fake streets in certain locations to see if anyone's been copying their information. But the truth is, I'm pretty sure, because I've heard stories, the whole Trivial Pursuit, people pulling information for Trivial Pursuit from encyclopedias and stuff, that, again, factual information cannot be copyrighted. And when I say that, again, anything can be copyrighted if you have a good enough lawyer. But if you present something as factual information, it's now considered factual information when it comes to copyrights. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but OpenStreetMaps should have more addresses in it. And that's just trying to use it as a paper map to look up where I'm going. It's useless like that because I can't even get to the address. I'd have to drag around. If I can't search for a street and it can't find that street, then what good is it to me, right? So anyway, that is why I don't use OpenStreetMaps and why one of the very few proprietary applications besides hardware drivers that I use on my phone is Google Maps. Yeah, so feel free to disagree with me down in the comments. I would love if someone showed me how to make this usable, but so far it hasn't been for me. Have a great day.